On August 23rd of 2017, a tropical depression in the lower Gulf of Mexico reorganized and strengthened into a tropical storm. Within 3 days, this weather disturbance would grow into the first Category 4 hurricane to hit the Texas coast in 12 years. Never before have the construction and installation standards of our houses been tested to the degree they were. We attempted to reach all customers and successfully located 13 of them. These are their stories. Customer number 1, ironically named Robert Story, is a developer who bought the home as an investment property. Mr. Story was pleased with how his home withstood the storm and would buy another Oak Creek. Ronald Head represents our second and third stories, as he is the owner of 2 Oak Creeks. He owns a combination RV manufactured home park in the Rockport area that sustained a head-on blow from the fury of Hurricane Harvey. Each Oak Creek survived nearly undamaged, while the rest of the park and the homes and RVs in it were destroyed. Customers number 4 are the Rodriguez family in Sinton, Texas. Once again, Hurricane Harvey did its worst, and Oak Creek responded with strength, protection, and stability. Only the skirting on their home was damaged. Our 5th story comes from the Rowe family. Of all the Oak Creek houses in Harvey's path, none had been placed there more recently than the one for the Rowe family. It hadn't even been completely installed when workers were ordered to evacuate. It withstood the wrath of Harvey, although it almost didn't survive being hit by a competitor's home that was nearly blown into it. Story number 6 is concerning Mr. and Mrs. Stimpson. Although every other dwelling in her park was completely devastated by Harvey, the only Oak Creek located there belonged to the Stimpsons, and it stood strong through the disaster without any resulting damage. Story number 7. In the same general area of Mrs. Stimpson, Garry Newsome had purchased his second Oak Creek home. Gary's area saw much of the residential structures damaged or simply destroyed by the storm's wrath. He was thoroughly pleased to find his Oak Creek home sustained only minor damage. Story number 8 comes from the Cooper family. Their once wooded land turned from summer to winter if it were to be judged by the leaves on the trees after Harvey. Trees and houses in the neighboring community were uprooted or knocked down after taking Mother Nature's beating. Once again, though, and Oak Creek persevered where others didn't. Stories 9 and 10 involve 2 sisters who owned Oak Creek homes in the general area of Rockport. Being close, they placed their homes on adjacent pieces of property and endured the storm together. Both homes emerged from the storm in excellent condition. The Janowskis family was also an Oak Creek success story.
The house had no damage at all other than a broken window that was caused by flying debris. So the house held up great.
Customer Luca is story number 12. Their home, placed in what used to be one of Rockport's most heavily wooded areas, withstood the storm with few visible scars. Only their porch was damaged. We would love to say that every house we found came out of the storm without major damage, but in this case we cannot. The real story to be learned from Mrs. Rear's experience is best told by her daughter's Facebook post, read now as it appeared a few days after the storm.
We recently battled Hurricane Harvey. I'd like to say we met him eye to eye. Neither of us backed down for what seemed like forever. Harvey threw winds at us up to 160 miles per hour. We stayed huddled in the master bedroom closet. It was like a roller coaster ride, beyond scary. Water rushed the house as it began filling quickly. We cut a hole in the roof to use as an escape if necessary. Fortunately, eventually the water started to recede. So I'm writing to say thank you for saving our lives. The house held. Not a single window broke. The roof and the walls remained intact. The tie-downs never snapped, although the house did shift. The home is a total loss due to flooding. But the most important thing is we are alive. We cannot express enough our gratitude. We are currently living in tents on our property while we clear out the rubble. Oak Creek is the only home we will put back on our property.